Reuters on Thursday cited a Dalian Port Group official as confirming 5 harbours overseen by Dalian Customs, Dalian, Bayuquan, Panjin, Dandong and Beiliang, would not allow Australian coal to be cleared. LoadingChinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang said, Chinese customs authorities conducted risk monitoring and analysis of imported coal to safeguard the rights and interests of Chinese importers and protect the environment. Trade Minister Simon Birmingham said late on Thursday he had asked our ambassador in Beijing to urgently clarify the veracity of the reports. China is a valued partner of Australia and we trust that our free trade agreement commitments to each other will continue to be honoured, he said. An Australian mining analyst said the decision had been brewing for some time. Before it was just metallurgical or coking coal, but now it's been extended to thermal coal, he said. It is understood there have already been high-level conversations between the Australian and Chinese governments. These conversations are delicately poised right now. This seems to be an escalation of what is already happening between China and Australia. They've singled out only Australian coal. MineLife analyst Gavin Wendt, another analyst, said that BHP may be exposed to this, with some of their coal going through that port. Diplomatic relations between China and Australia have been relatively smooth in recent months, after a meeting of foreign ministers late last year healed a rift that had prevented any official visits for months. But Chinese media has in recent weeks hit out at the Five Eyes intelligence allies over Washington and Canberra's decision to ban Chinese telecommunications company Huawei from 5G networks. MineLife analyst Gavin Wendt said, this seems to be an escalation of what is already happening between China and Australia. They have singled out only Australian coal. One has to interpret it as having to do with the icy political relationship between Australia and China. Trade Minister Simon Birmingham seeking urgent advice on the reported ban. Credit: Dominic Lorimera. Media Digest published by the Xinhua State News Agency on Thursday repeated a Reuters story about rumors of delays for Australian coal imports under the headline, Can't Even Sell Coal to China. Chinese industry website Coal Industry Net reported that import restrictions on Australian coking coal had been extended in some parts of China in late January, but no official statement has been issued. Informed sources have said that on the afternoon of January 29, several ports in northeastern China, including the Bayuquan, Dandong Port and Dalian Port, imposed restrictions on coking coal imports. Authorities conducted risk monitoring of imported coal to safeguard the rights of Chinese importers and protect the environment. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang, 3 Chinese steel mills have confirmed that they have received verbal notices from customs at northeast ports regarding the import restrictions on coking coal, the Chinese website said. A Chinese trader said it would definitely affect the buying sentiment of high-ash thermal coal from Newcastle Port. The Department of Science and Industry had forecast in December that China would have declining demand for thermal coal in 2019, but that Australian export earnings would continue to soar on rising prices, from $23 billion to $26 billion. One Australian coal miner said while they are being kept in the dark by the port, this situation frequently occurs. Dalian isn't talking to Australian producers about this. They don't explain it, which is very Chinese, he said. They usually put these in place to allow domestic operators time to shine and build them up by pressuring Australian producers. These Australian producers then take a $5 to $10 a ton hit for the next few months until they lift them again. When asked if it may be in retaliation for Huawei, he said he was not hearing that it was politically driven and was a fairly normal course of action at Dalian. But independent South Australian Senator Rex Patrick said, it's not unusual for China to act in that manner on a state-to-state front. Whenever they're unhappy, the executive director of Australian Strategic Policy Institute Peter Jennings said, this is a deliberate shot across the bows. It's a pattern we've seen China apply to a number of countries over the years. It's designed to keep Australia on edge about our decision concerning Chinese investment or its inclusion in our 5G network. BHP Chief Executive Andrew Mackenzie on Tuesday acknowledged that delays for coal importers unloading in China had more than doubled from 20 to 45 days, but he said, all suppliers are facing that, he said. The cause was China moderating imports versus domestic coal production. I don't believe for one moment this is linked to some of the higher-level issues of relationships between China and the rest of the world, and including with us. There had been reports earlier this month of queues of ships off numerous Chinese ports facing delays to unload coal as China sought to boost domestic coal prices. It had also been reported that only Australian coal faced customs delays.